Salman bhai, whether Mustaq is with you, I just want to have a word with you um, after the class, just for your information. Auzubillahi minash shaitan. Salman bhai, whether Mustaq is with you, I just want to have a word with you after the. I think this is live, isn't it? Live in this level. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فتقبلها ربها بقبول حسنة فأنبتت فأنبتت حسنة وكفلها زكريا كلما دخل عليها زكريا كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا قال يا مريم أنى لك هذا قالت هو من عند الله إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. So at least by today we need to do little fast, because in generally the verses or verses related to history are little time consuming, but still we don't have much time. So without going into a lot of details, so let me just speed up. Fatakabbalaha, which means so accepted her, mean accepted Maryam alayhi salam. So you people can now start answering in the chat as well. So accepted her Lord bi qabul in hasana, with acceptance good. Fanbataha, and made her to grow nabat in hasana, which means her childhood was very superb. His parenting was really superb. She was kept in a comfort zone within the principles of Islam. So her growth, her childhood days and parenting was done very perfectly. Nabat and Hasana wa kaffalaha, and put her into care. So after a time, after their parents, now a person called Zakaria alayhi salam comes into picture. He is also a prophet of his time at the same time. And one more point is, he is an uncle for Maryam alayhi salam. So he is a prophet, and he is, in a way, he is a relative to Maryam alayhi salam as well. So the responsibility of taking care of this child, Maryam alayhi salam, after their parents, comes to Zakaria alayhi salam. So it happens that he put her into, and people says that there are a lot of points to dig out in history, but only few things I'm going to tell you. And Zakaria alayhi salam ensured that the safety of this girl is being maintained, and immediately, right after her birth of Maryam alayhi salam, she was being handed over to Baitul Muqaddas. We know the sacred masjid of Islam, Baitul Muqaddas, and she was growing inside the masjid. Inside the masjid. Now people should also give a thought that whether to allow women inside masjid is a question still now. Still now. But see here, Maryam alayhi salam, his birth, and after her birth and his growing itself happens inside what you call as the Baitul Muqaddas. The caretaker of the Baitul Muqaddas at that point in time is Zakaria alayhi salam. So in a way, he is a relative. He is the caretaker of the masjid. So in a way, he engaged himself and he ensured that her safety and privacy is ensured inside the masjid. So it happens that whenever he entered upon her, which means there is a chamber which was given privately for Maryam alayhi salam to have a privacy inside the masjid, and she is living there. And only fil mehrab means a chamber, a prayer chamber. Even today we have the mehrab inside masjid, isn't it? So chamber. So all that gets origins from here. Chamber. He found near her a rizqa, and he is the only person who was allowed to meet what? Maryam, only Jinn to allowed to meet Maryam alayhi salam. So he is the person who was engaged to take food for her. So it happens. So whenever he goes with food to give her, he founds near her a rizqa, which means a provision. He was taking food to feed this girl, but she is already having what? Food. And Mufassirins give lot of explanation on that. And she is having foods of unseasonal fruits. And this is the question that immediately, as everybody, we also ask to our children, how you got this? How you got this? So he is also asking a kala. He said, "Oh Maryam, Anna laki hada, how come you got this? From where you got this? From where you got this?" She said, and only reply is she said, "It is from near Allah. It is from near Allah." And he becomes very surprised. That's it. No other explanation. She only information, it is from near Allah. That's why we generally, when we buy any new things, cars and whatever it is, we always have a practice, right? Hada min fadli Rabbi. This is from the bounty of Allah. In the same way, she also says this is from what? From near Allah. How Allah has provided, it is a gaib for us. Verily, and further Allah continues, verily Allah provides to whomever He wishes without any account. If Allah decides to give somebody, that's all. Unaccountedly, He will get rizq, and that is what we could infer from this. அவளை ஏற்றாள் அவளை ஏற்றான் அவளுடைய இறைவன் ஏற்பாக அழகியது. பிறகு அவளை வளர்த்தான் வளர்ப்பாக, அழகிய வளர்ப்பாக. மேலும் அவளுக்கு பொறுப்பாளனாக்கினான் சக்ரியா அலைஹிஸ்ஸலாமை. பிறகு எப்பொழுதெல்லாம் அவர் நுழைந்தால் அவருடைய இடத்தில் அவளுடைய இடத்தில் ஜக்கரியா அலைஹிஸ்ஸலாம் மெஹ்ராபின் பக்கம், மாடத்தின் பக்கம். பிறகு பெற்றுக்கொண்டார் அவளிடத்தில் ஓர் உணவை. அவர் கேட்டார், "ஓ மரியமே, எங்கிருந்து வந்தது உனக்கு?" அவள் கூறினாள், "இது என் இறைவனிடமிருந்து, அல்லாவிடமிருந்து. நிச்சயமாக அல்லாஹ் வழங்குகிறான் எவருக்கு நாடுகிறானோ கணக்கின்றி." ஹுனாலிக்க, at that point in time, after seeing this miracles happening, at that point in time itself he asked a dua, because on a personal level Zakaria alayhi salam has also had a problem. The problem is he doesn't have a child. He didn't had a child for so long. He is old now, and his wife has also was out of the age of reproductive cycle, and we have some gynecologist doctors also. And at that point in time itself, after seeing this miracle that is happening for Maryam alayhi salam, Hunalika, at that point and there only, he called out Zakaria alayhi salam, his Lord. He invoked, that point in time itself, he asked dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi habli miladunka zuriyatun tayyiba. And this is the powerful dua that we should keep it noted. Anybody who wishes to have child and who are longing for child, and this is the powerful dua that one should ever memorize and ask for. As Rabbi, my Lord, bestow for me from near yourself offsprings who are pure in the character and pure in their strength and everything. And further he continues, verily you only is the hearer of the prayer. அப்பொழுதே அவ்விடத்திலேயே பிரார்த்தித்தார் ஜக்கரியா அலைஹிஸ்ஸலாம். அவருடைய இறைவனிடமிருந்து கேட்டார், எனது இறைவா, எனக்கு வழங்குவாயாக உன்னிடமிருந்து சந்ததிகளை, தூய்மையான சந்ததிகளை. நிச்சயமாக நீதான் செவியிருப்பவனாக இருக்கிறான் துவாக்களை, பிரார்த்தனைகளை. Then now he asked the dua. Now the reply comes to him, because he's a prophet. فنادته, so then call him the angels. So call him angels while he is standing on a prayer. He is standing on a prayer in the mihrab, in his mihrab, in the prayer chamber, that the angels calls out to him and asks this question. Request for Zoom link needs to be sent, it seems. You can put it, Mustaq, you can put it on a general note so that other people will take it and send it to them. Okay. So called out the angels while he was standing on a prayer. He is praying. Zakaria alayhi salam is praying now in his mihrab. Now the information comes from the angels. They say that Allah has give you glad tidings about Ahia. He is the name of the son. The son have not born yet, but the information comes to him saying that Allah will give you a son whose name is Ahia alayhi salam. So this is the only person I could ever think of that Allah himself named the child. Allah himself named that child. Musaddiqan, confirming to the word from our Allah, and Allah further continues how this child would be. Sayyidatan, he is Sayyida. We also have Sayyida. Sayyida means a noble character, from an extremely noble character, not the caste, but Hasuran, and he's a chaste person. Generally, the word chaste is used only for women, but here Allah calls it for men, so which means the common property for both the men and the women. Hasura, and he is a chaste person. And further, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives introduction about, and this is a trailer about that child. He is going to be a prophet among the righteous. See how many information that Allah gives about a child which is going to born. Because he asked that dua, the earlier he wants a child of a supreme character, noble character, pure character, then his dua is being accepted, and his explanation and the characteristic features of this child is also being given to the parent. ஸோ பிறகு அழைத்தார்கள் வானவர்கள். அவர் தொழுகும்போது தொழுது கொண்டிருக்க மெஹராபில், அதாவது அல்லாஹ் உமக்கு சுபச்செய்தி கூறுகிறான் யஹியாவை கொண்டு, உண்மைப்படுத்தக்கூடியதாக வார்த்தை அல்லாவிடமிருந்து. அவர் தலைவராக இருப்பார், மேலும் இன்பத்தை துறந்தவராக இருப்பார், மேலும் நபியாக இருப்பார், மேலும் சாலிகளிலிருந்து நல்லோர்களிலிருந்து. Now immediately this person got a doubt. Who? Zakaria alayhi salam. He himself was the person who asked his doubt, who asked his request. When now the offer letter was given, he now got a doubt. What is the doubt? You see, Rabbi, my Lord, how come I will have a child? Because he crossed the age. That's what he says. How can be for me a son? All the methodology of chances of getting a child is exhausted now. He gives explanation, because indeed has reached me kibar, which means old age. Old age. I have become very old, and my wife is also barren now. And there is no chance for us to have a child now. But how come we will have it? But now he gets a reply, Kadalik. That is how. That is how. You should just forget. Thus means that's all. Put a full stop to it. Allah does however he wish. Allah does whatever he does. There could have been, all the doctors would have deserted you, all the methodology of treatment would have gone vain, and you would have spent a lot of money. But if Allah wishes to give, he will give you. And further he says, என்ன இறைவா, எவ்வாறு உண்டாகும் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு குழந்தை? திட்டமாக அடைந்து விட்டிருக்க எங்களுக்கு வயோதிகம், மேலும் எனது மனைவியோ மலடியாக இருக்கிறார். அவர் கூறினான், இவ்வாறே அல்லாஹ் செய்வான் எதனை அவன் நாடுகிறானோ. Now because he is a prophet, he has one step ahead to courage to ask this question. Rabbi, if that is the case, okay, you say you are going to do it, okay, but it is a long-term journey. It is not going to happen tomorrow. You have to wait for long days. So he is asking a sign for it. Sign means something, a proof of evidence for him. Because he is a prophet, he has courage to ask this. He say, my Lord, give me a sign. Make me for a sign. You see, it's the same words that even Ibrahim alayhi salam used. So now here also Zakaria alayhi salam uses, make for me a sign. Make for me a sign. He said, your sign is that not you will speak to people, which means you will become dumb for next 3 days. You could not speak, you will become dumb. That's all. You will become dumb for next 3 days, except Ramza means gestures. You can give some gestures. You can give some actions, but you can't speak. Further you find, Vazukuru, even at this 3 days, because you become dumb now, that doesn't mean that you will go to the corner of the house and take rest. But rather, Allah says, remember your Lord. He is at the pain. He could not speak now. But still Allah is telling, remember your Lord as much as possible. And wasabbih, and glorify in the evening and in the morning. And there is one more duty he was given to him that is being explained in the Surah Maryam, I believe, where Allah is asking you have to continue the dawah work also. Even in the 3 days, though you become dumb now, you have a personal problem, but yet your activity of dawah should continue. You should again give gestures to the people about Islam. So that should not stop. Is the commandment that Zakaria alayhi salam is being given, is given now. கூறினார், எனது இறைவா, ஆக்குவாயாக எனக்கு ஒரு அத்தாட்சியை. பிறகு கூறினான் கூறினான் உமது அத்தாட்சி நீர் பேசாமல் இருப்பது மக்களிடம் 3 நாட்களுக்கு, தவிரவே செய்கைகளை தவிர, செய்கைகளை சாடையாக பேசுவதை தவிர, நினைவு கூறுவாயாக உனது இறைவனை அதிகம் அதிகமாக, மேலும் துதித்து தூய்மைப்படுத்துவீராக மாலைகளிலும் மேலும் காலைகளிலும், கால நேரங்களிலும். Now coming back. Now Zakaria alayhi salam, his need was being completed after seeing. And then you please take care of that. I have sent a chat. Okay. Is a qalatil malaikatu, and when said angels. Now coming back to Maryam alayhi salam. Now angels comes to, now the angels who speak with Maryam. Now the chapter with Zakaria alayhi salam is over. Now coming back to the parent discussion is about the Maryam alayhi salam. Now coming back to Maryam alayhi salam. Is a qalatil, and said, and when said the angels. Can you see ta coming often in the lines nowadays? Because all are referring to the female. That's why instead of ka you have ki here, which means referring that it's a female gender to whom these people are talking with. So now when said the angels, O Maryam alayhi salam, O Maryam alayhi salam, verily now an information comes to Maryam alayhi salam. Verily Allah has chosen you. Allah has chosen you. Allah has purified you. Allah has purified you. Allah has chosen you over the women of the world, which means generally it looks like a certificate that is being given. There is two sides of the coin. One is, yeah, certificate, and she is the best lady in the world, and she is going to be the best lady in the hereafter as well. She is the one who is going to lead the crowd, to the women crowd, to the Jannah. All that is the rewards for her. There is another side of the coin, which means you are going to be tested as much as heavy as possible than the others, because he has chosen you. So the test, the tribulations and the temptations that comes to you and the difficulty that comes to you will also be more. And that's why the test which is being tested with Maryam alayhi salam was not the test given with anybody else in this world. Her chastity is being questioned now. Even today there are a lot of allegations. Even today Jews speak against Maryam alayhi salam, but about her purity. But here Allah gives certificate that she is a pure lady in this world. There could have been, she is a pure lady when compared to any other woman in the world. Not even her intention was polluted. So Allah has chosen you, which means both the sides is applicable. You will get reward this world and in the hereafter. But at the same time, you will have the same kind of difficulty, the trials and tribulations and temptations, much more than anybody else in this world. Only then you will be rewarded. Now the argument continues. மேலும் கூறப்பட்ட பொழுது கூறினார்கள் வானவர்கள், ஓ மரியம் அலைஹிஸ்ஸலாம், நிச்சயமாக அல்லாஹ் உன்னை தேர்ந்தெடுத்திருக்கிறான், மேலும் பரிசுத்தப்படுத்திருக்கிறான் உன்னை, மேலும் தேர்ந்தெடுத்திருக்கிறான் அகில உலக பெண்களை விட. I think Women's Days, International Women's Day is celebrated. You find an exemplary example of a woman that the world has ever seen is Maryam alayhi salam. Ya Maryam. And further, the conditions and instructions comes to her is because he has chosen. That doesn't mean that you have to just now go and take rest. No, you have to now seriously engage yourself for Islam. For that, you need some spiritual strength to do it. What you have to do, uknuti, be obedient to Allah. Whatever be the instruction that comes to you, just follow it. You have to become obedient to Allah. Don't use your senses and confuse yourself. Don't bother about the comments and the allegations that people post on you, but the only thing that you have to do is be obedient to Allah. And to do that, on your action, you need some spiritual exercises to do, that is wasjudu. So prostrate, rukau, and do ruku or bow down along with those who bow down. So this exercise will give you a strength for you to become very obedient to Allah. And there are a lot of mufassirins who take this ayat and explain that is the main agenda of a prayer. Prayer is not just pray and go away, but the prayer should give you much more strength and courage and dil bolenge na. It has to give like that, so that you will face the world outside the prayer with much force, and you will every after prayer will become much more obedient to Allah, much more obedient to Allah, much more obedient to Allah. Okay. O Maryam, கீழ்ப்படிவீராக உமது இறைவனுக்கு, மேலும் சுஜூ செய்வீராக, ருக்கு செய்வீராக, ருக்கு செய்பவர்களுடன். தாலிக்க, and Allah says, all these were the information Allah is now giving to you. That is from the information. Anba, now you find means Anba means either you can say it as news or you can say it as information. And from this word only the Nabi also comes. Nabi is also a word comes from this, which means a person who informs things. So that is from the news or the information of the unseen, we inspire it to you. Can somebody give a guess on whom does this you refers to? To you. And not you were near them. And what is this? This you refers to? You can give it on a chat. When? Yes. And after giving all these brief introduction, now coming back to the actual recipient of this message, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah is telling, these were unseen. You were not near to them when all these incidences happened. This happened much before you born. But the information has now reached you. And not you were near when they cast their pens on which of them takes charge of Maryam alayhi salam. So on this point, when they cast their pens, I want to give this as a homework for you to explore. If you have answers, you can give it here, or you can explore much more on that and give it in a writing on the tomorrow's class, and only then I'm going to explain that. For time being, just leave it like they cast their pen on which of them Ekfulu takes charge of Maryam alayhi salam, and not you were near them when they were disputing. So this point I would like to give you as a homework, you to explore and give a short explanation on that on a chat tomorrow. It is இவைகள் செய்தி, மறைவான செய்தியிலிருந்து நாம் வகை அனுப்புகிறோம் அதனை உமக்கு, மேலும் நீர் இருக்கவில்லை அவர்களிடத்தில், இப்பொழுது அவர்கள் எரிந்தார்கள். இப்பொழுது அவர்கள் எரிந்தார்கள் அவர்களுடைய பேனாக்களை, அவர்களுடைய எழுதுகோள்களை. அதாவது அவர்களில் யார் பொறுப்பேற்பார்? மரியம் அலைஹிஸ்ஸலாம் இருக்கு. மேலும் இல்லை, நீங்கள் அவர்களுக்கு அருகாமையில் அவர்கள் தர்க்கித்து கொண்டிருந்த பொழுது. Okay, now coming back to Maryam alayhi salam. Now she has now grown up, she got maturity now. Now a shocking news, the test which no woman have ever witnessed the face of the earth comes to Maryam alayhi salam. And you see, you have to, there are a lot of women here, you have to put yourself in her shoes and think how difficult would have been for a girl who doesn't have parents now, and she is under the caretaking of his uncle, and she is spent all her lifetime. I become very emotional whenever I dig out about Maryam alayhi salam. But yet you have to just think on the psychological trauma that she would have undergone when she has received this information. See the shocking information that comes to her. She was not expecting such a test for her, but it is the destiny of Allah to give such a test to her. See, when said the angels, O Maryam alayhi salam, verily Allah will give you a glad tidings of a word from him. His name is Messiah Isa, son of Maryam, which means, see the shocking word, which means you will get conceived in Artham, you will become pregnant. For a chaste woman to hear something like this, how difficult would have been. See the kind of trauma that she would have faced, what kind of allegation that she would have faced in the society that she is living in. It is the pure decision of Allah, and he is the only person in the Quran, whenever that the name of the person being attached, he is also been attached with saying son of Maryam, which means He is just a son who born with single parent, with a single parent, with a single parent. That's why whenever Isa alayhi salam is mentioned, it also comes with son of Maryam. So he is just a son of Maryam. There is no father for him. Wajihan. And Allah gives a description about this person, Isa alayhi salam also, is Wajihan. He's going to be the honored person in this world. Even today, the when you see with numbers, the people who follows Isa alayhi salam, either they follow truly or badly, that is different. But is much more numbered than even Muslims also, which means he is honored in this world. And he is being honored in this world and in the hereafter, and he will be among the one who is very nearer to Allah. Because for the sacrifices that this entire family had done, right from the Nani of Isa alayhi salam, now the mother of Isa alayhi salam, then the sacrifice that Isa alayhi salam did. So 3 generations of sacrifices, which has made him the most honorable person in this world that world has ever witnessed. The world has ever witnessed. And when said, மேலும் எப்பொழுது கூறினார்கள் மலாய்க்கத்துமார்கள், ஓ மரியம் அலைஹிஸ்ஸலாம், நிச்சயமாக அல்லாஹ் உமக்கு சுப செய்தி சொல்ல இருக்கிறான். இது சுப செய்தியாது. ஆனா அல்லாஹ் சொல்லும்போது சுப செய்தின்னு சொல்றான். சுப செய்தி சொல்ல இருக்கிறான் ஒரு வார்த்தையை கொண்டு அவனிடமிருந்து, அதாவது அவன் பெயர் மசியா, ஈசா சன் ஆஃப் மரியம். ஈசா மரியமுடைய மகன், குமாரன் ஈசா. அவர் எப்படி இருப்பார் தெரியுமா? மிகவும் வஜீகன், தூய்மையானவர், மிகவும் கம்பீரமானவராக இந்த பூமியில், மேலும் மறுமை நாளிலும் மேலும் அவர் நெருக்கமானவர்களில் இருப்பார். And further his description, the child itself has not born yet. Only the test has happened. So but further Allah gives explanation. He is going to be a special child in this world. He's going to be the special child that he will speak to the people in the cradle. This is a sign that Allah is giving upfront. He is the only right after coming out of the mother, and he is the only child who had a guts to speak against the people, and he is dying right from the cradle, and also in his maturity. Just because there would have been some people who will be much good in childhood days, but as they grow up they become bad. But here he is going to be a special child. He is good during his cradle times, childhood days also, but also after attaining maturity, and he is going to be among the righteous. If you need such a special child, then you need to now undergo a serious test in your life. And now further பேசுவார் ஒரு மக்களுக்கு மத்தியில் தொட்டியிலும் மேலும் அவர் வாலிபராகவும் நல்லோர்களில் இருந்து. Now the shocking news has disturbed her like anything. Now she makes hue and cry of this, because the problems that she should face the society, for the arguments that people would put forth against her, and she will have no proof to prove that she is the pure lady in this world. There is nothing she has in evidence, but the people are going to give tremendous comments on her. That's what she's shocked now as a young girl, and asks, my Lord, how come I will have a child? How come I will have a son? How come I will have a boy? While not has touched me a man. I'm a pure lady right from the childhood days and until now. How come I will have a son? What this world will speak if I become pregnant and go in front of them? What comments that people will throw on me? It's something that is disturbing her in and out. She asks this question, how come I will have a child while has not touched me a son? Do we know what reply that Allah has given? Thus, don't argue something with me. That's what it means. That's how Allah creates however he wishes. That's all. We will not be giving you much explanation for this question right now. There is no answers for you right now. Only thing is, this is the decision of Allah. That's all. This is the decision that Allah has decided. That's all. You have to bear the test. But Allah will be with you throughout the process. And Allah created however he wishes. What a miraculous birth. How Allah says, Faiza Qadha, and when he decreed a matter, how come this will happen? Then only thing that Allah ever used to say is, when he decrees a matter, then only he will say to it be, then it becomes. It's not a big deal for him. It's not a rocket science for him. It's just a word of say be, and it becomes. That's all. So with that, we stop here and we will continue what happens next and about some more details on Isa alayhi salam, and some more details of Maryam alayhi salam is not given here because there is an exclusive chapter, chapter 19, which gives a lot of details. It's just an introductory about her. And to put it in Tamil, கூறினார், எனது இறைவா, எவ்வாறு எனக்கு இருக்கும் ஒரு குழந்தை, மேலும் என்னை தொடாமல் இருக்க ஒரு ஆண். கூறினார் இவ்வாறு, அல்லாஹ் படைக்கிறான், எதனை நாடுகிறானோ, மேலும் அவன் முடிவு செய்தால் ஒரு காரியத்தை பிறகு மட்டுமே கூறுவான், அதற்கு ஆகு, அது உடனே ஆகிவிடும். That will wind up for the day, inshallah.